we should be going. It might be, and everything's new because everyone has new tech, and yeah, so yeah. Yep. Everybody's got a new computer. That's been a while. Alright, I don't know why I'm not showing any desktop audio in OBS. Can you flip over and listen to the stream on YouTube and see if we've got audio? Oh, okay. So it's just some weird fluke here. So you're listening to it through YouTube right now? Okay. Well, let me just check it. Right. Ah! Okay, I checked it. We do have audio, so we're good. Now, whether we have anyone here and listening... Oh, Codex is here! And I can see it because everything fits on my screen. It's so weird. All right. All right, you ready to go? There we go. Just as I looked, it turned 8 o'clock. So let's hit it!
Bants and Bants. Bants and Bants.
All systems go.
Bants and Bants.
Defiance.
Bants and Bants.
This rebel has a cause.
Bants and Bants.
We begin as wanderers, and we are wanderers still.
Hello? Right, and it's not, doing that thing where it stops and doesn't play. Yeah, that's what I said. There's something weird with the desktop audio. Let me Well, no, still nothing there. Well, you're fixing it. That's. It's got to be something with Zoom, not talking to OBS. Well, I can't even have you tap dance a little bit. Can anyone hear Mark? He's speaking. He's sounding like Pink Floyd. Okay, so it's only me that can be heard. Clearly, this means there is a problem with Zoom. So let me see if I can fix this. Well, no, that didn't fix it. Completely muting my audio. Okay. Maybe this is it. Okay, now talk a little bit, guys, and see if you're there. No, I'm still not. There you go.
How about now?
I bet you're there now.
Okay, and how about me? Can you hear me?
Okay. Well, apparently, TV YouTube was okay in the first place. It was. Oh.
It's getting all of these programs to talk to each other.
Okay. So can you hear me now?
I can see you now in OBS, so you should be going through the streaming software now.
Jim says the missus is the best. Too much workload. All three. All right.
All right. Fantastic.
All right. So everybody has to drink because of technical difficulty.
That's right.
That's our first in like a year and a half. So I'll just let you know, the missus is working on a brand new computer, and I'm working on a brand new computer because my computer was dying. You probably don't remember, nor should you. And the missus, hers was operating at the limits of its capabilities.
Yes,
and now, and if you heard the opening, I don't know if you heard the opening song, but it didn't break up like it always used to. So life is good. And welcome. Welcome, everyone, to episode 155. I'm not going to do that again. Mark, you having a good time?
As always, yep.
And I have cracked a beer, so I am quite a happy man. And shall we banter a bit, or shall we go straight to on this day in history?
Well, I mean, it hasn't been a little while since we've all been here. Yeah, Tim says it's been a year and a half since we've been here. It kind of feels like it, yeah.
So let's see. Yeah, I was traveling last week, and Mark was busy the week before, as I recall. And the missus gave me a note the week before that. But now I have a new computer, so life is good. It's not a touchscreen, though, but it is a laptop. Oh, banter. Tim says banter. Mark, yourself, anything?
It is part of the podcast name, so, we kind of have to do it.
Anything? If we're talking about new equipment, I don't have anything new. Yeah, nothing exciting that way. We have lost, though, since the last time we got together. We've lost 2 of our cats. So.
Oh, no.
Yep. One came down with infection, and one just old age, I think.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. That's kind of a sad thing. But they're cats, which means you probably have 2 more?
We have 3 more.
Okay.
But one's an outside cat. She doesn't really count because she won't even let any of us get near her. She just comes by for the food.
The missus, though, still has me. Although we're down a cat too since last time.
Yeah. I was thinking that maybe we lost Yellow Cat since we had been here, and something odd happened to him. I don't know what it was. He ran into something that he could not beat. He did come back, but I think it broke his jaw or something, and he was not able to eat or drink. And he's kind of half feral anyway, and he would not let anyone near him, and he just disappeared. And so, yeah,
Yep.
off
Down
to-
a cat.
off to the great litter box in the sky, apparently.
Yep.
And then we gave one cat away, but he had kind of adopted us. He just appeared here like Mark's cats, and so we tried to give him to T-Bone. T-Bone took him to a house. Cat immediately disappeared. And I was, well, have you put food out for him? Well, no, I haven't been doing that. We'll do that, because that's how he ended up being our cat in the first place. He just showed up. We started feeding him. So no update on that, because T-Bone is very forgetful. And after about 4 weeks of me saying, put food out for him, put food out for the cat, I still don't know if he's done it.
Tim, that's American Indians counted coup. We count cats. All right. Well, there is a day in history, and that was today. That's not today.
That was
So-
the sounder I forgot to put in, was the day in history sounder.
That's okay. Just
I felt like I was forgetting something.
say, intro it and sound majestic.
On this day in history. There you go. Is that good?
There you go.
All right.
In the year 711, not the store the year, the Islamic conquest of the Iberian Peninsula started as troops led by Ilhan Omar attacked at Gibraltar. My notes may be a little off. In 1859, world chess champion Paul Morphy retired from chess. When researching this, the website had the title "Chess Player Retires" and a picture of Paul Morphy, and it said "chess player" under it. And I'm like, wow, that was pretty convenient. The chess player retired, and there's this picture, chess player. But it was actually American Paul Morphy. In 1888, hailstones as big as oranges kill 246 people and 1,600 sheep in Mordrabad, India, which is otherwise known as Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Also in the state, in 1945, a famed Austrian painter, Adolf Hitler, shuffled off the mortal coil. And in 1952 marked the first year that a toy had a television ad. The toy, Mr. Potato Head. That was on this day in history.
Isn't it weird how they're all connected?
It is. And I found some other things too as I was going through here. Slapcop Industries. I
Oh,
noted
you noticed that?
what?
Slapcop Industries.
I like that.
You like
I
it?
did not know. Yeah, I do. That's a new, huh?
Well, it wasn't new. I've used it for other things, but I just was putting stuff in, and I was like, I think I'll add that to our home screen.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, so that this day in history. Yeah, there was a lot of other stuff I found that was all about this day, but yeah, I'm not going to get into it because, hey, just get us kicked off. Let's just say certain people were kicked out of certain cities, like a lot on this day in history. So I skipping that. What does it mean?
Yeah, Tim needs an explanation of what Slapcop is. It is just a fake corporation that runs everything that is on our podcast that we just made up.
So, for instance, Slapcop is a movie studio, and also probably is a part owner, at least in Unpainted Ukraine. So, all right.
Let me see if I can find anything else Slapcop related.
What does it mean? Whatever you want. So,
Let's see.
why don't you look while
Here's the Slapcop School of Broadcasting and Home Dentistry. Slapogram Christmas. Let's just do the slapogram, shall we? I need to bring it in here. Let me see. Is there someone in your life? Can you hear that?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I'll just play it from here then. Is there someone in your life to whom you'd like to deliver a very special message? One that a generic thrift store greeting card just can't convey. Then you need to order the brand new service that's sweeping the nation, the Slapogram. That's right. Call us up, and in 3 to 5 business days, that very special person in your life will receive a brisk slap right across the chops. You can even personalize your message.
Welcome to Earth.
Call 1-800-SLAPOGRAM to order yours today.
So Slap Cop.
That was the original, and then it got a little more specific.
We could do a film. And all the films are by Slap Cop.
Yes, all of the films are produced by Slap Cop.
All right.
I think this one probably is here's the Slap Cop School of Broadcasting. Are you thinking about a new career? Hoping to make more money to better care for your family? Do you just need a change in the direction of your life? If you answered yes to any of these questions, I'd like to invite you to apply to the new Slap Cop School of Broadcasting and Home Dentistry. Broadcasting? Home dentistry? But those seem like two very different occupations. Right you are, my friend. They couldn't be more different. But, as we like to say here at Slap Cop Industries, why can't you do both? Slap Cop Industries prides itself on producing talented, well-trained professionals who are capable of voicing their own commercials and filling their own cavities. You don't need those fancy false teeth. You have plenty of gravel in your own driveway. Just pick one that's the right size, polish it up, and pop it into place. And the best part of the Slap Cop School of Broadcasting and Home Dentistry is that it all happens in one building. Why, here comes one of our broadcast students now, coming from the dentistry end of the building. Say, Billy, how are classes going?
The classes are going really well. Thank you for asking.
You heard it here first, folks. For those of you looking for a new career or just something new and exciting in your life, look no further than the Slap Cop School of Broadcasting and Home Dentistry. Ask for us by name.
Warning. The Slap Cop School of Broadcasting and Home Dentistry has been closed by federal authorities until further notice pending review of alleged violations of several health ordinances and the Involuntary Servitude Clause of the 14th Amendment. But go ahead and send us that tuition check. We'll just hang on to it until we reopen, which should be any day now.
So there you go, the Slap Cop School of Dentistry and Broadcasting and Home Dentistry.
But is it safe?
Exactly.
Well, I think that Slap Cop needs to expand into new areas. Real estate. I'm sure there's tons of people out there that would love to buy property in the Chernobyl exclusion zone, or tourism. Like the midnight tours of the Area 51.
And right now we could do import-export.
That's right.
Slap Cop.
Slap Cop
When
import exporters.
Helping you avoid tariffs since 2025.
One slap at a time.
Almost legal. Slap Cop, almost legal.
Legal in most states.
Yeah.
Okay, so
anyway, that's where Slap Cop came from. But the actual dentistry bit came from a Wall Street Journal article I read, and then it was like it was
the Daily Show back before Jon Stewart.
Before Stewart.
What was his name?
Craig Kilborn.
Craig Kilborn. Yes.
So we were watching it, and these people actually would get rocks out of their driveway and shape them into teeth.
Well, it was one guy.
It was one guy, but he had actually been written about in the Wall Street Journal too. So he had an entire mouth of teeth that were just rocks
from his driveway.
Driveway.
Yeah. And he done it himself.
He did it himself. Oh, good heavens! That's some Slap Cop stuff right there. All right, can you take us down that street? We'll call conversation. And thank you for asking.
Now it's time for us to take a stroll down the smooth sidewalk of Conversation Street.
Okay, we've missed a lot of stories in the last 2.5 years that we've been off the air. But today it was announced the United States had negative GDP growth for the first quarter of 2025. I mentioned that I thought that was going to happen to the missus yesterday, and she indicated it was no surprise to her. She thought that we'd been in one for quite a while. So, the missus, why don't you expound on your thesis here?
Well, it's just not a thesis at all. It's just that, prior to Biden being president, it was if you had I think it was 2 straight quarters of negative growth, and we had that. And when that happened, the Biden administration changed the definition so that we weren't in a recession. That was no longer the definition of recession. Yeah.
And and my theory is that people who live outside of the world that is inhabited by the left haven't experienced a recession. So those writers at those fancy newspapers and magazines weren't losing their jobs. And the USAID, I mean, how many people from USAID ever lost a job because of a recession? Oh, wait, none. So
and now that federal employees and government employees are losing their jobs, now we're in a recession.
Mm-hmm. Mark, your thoughts on this particular economic era that we're in?
Well, two main thoughts. First of all, we technically were in a recession in Biden's administration. I mean, you guys are right on that. And for the periods that we weren't, I wonder, I have to wonder myself how much of that was due to just inflation. It looked like, oh no, there's more money circulating in the economy. It must be GDP must be growing, but was it really if you corrected for inflation? I don't know if they do that with those government figures, but that's one thought. The other one is the GDP does include government spending, so maybe we're only in a recession now because the government had to come back.
Because it's been doged. Well, I will say that I think we spent $1 trillion this quarter. So no, we're on the pace to spend $1 trillion just in interest this year. That's what the stat was. So that's not going to crowd out any actual spending. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Any other economic thoughts?
Just everyone send me money.
That's how Mark avoids personal recessions.
Come on, we're nonprofit, just like USAID. All right, the missus, do we have a Jackass of the Week?
Well, okay, so here's what happened with the Jackass thing, right? I had 2 Jackasses, but when I sent them to myself, the audio, I grabbed the wrong soundbite for one of them. And so I only got one of the actual sound bites. So, here, let me see if I can pull this one down. Maybe. Are we going to download that?
So you're saying that we're half-assed tonight?
Yes.
Well,
so instead of pulling down a Jackass, this is the sound.
Larry! I was calling you, Larry!
That was the sound that I sent instead of the other actual Jackass. It was Joe from Practical Jokers. But I do have a Jackass. We have one, so I mean, we don't need to vote, but we'll do it. I don't have any images that go with the theater because I have not had time to reinstall my image program on my computer, so I can't edit that stuff yet. But here, we can do the Jackass.
This is Neil Young.
Hey, get that Jackass out of here!
And I'm proud to present my braying Jackass of the Week.
I am so glad that we got you a new computer rather than that one that we found that was rusty inside that men's restroom.
I know. Yes. It's much better. It works much better.
Well, take us to our winner, the missus.
So and also, by the way, I do have we'll take a brief sidestep here for a funny because it is Jackass related. So here it is. All right, so to our actual Jackass, this week's sole nominee for our previously explained reason is J.B. Pritzker, governor of Illinois, who had this to say at a big press conference, and I'll just let him say it.
Never before in my life have I called for mass protests, for mobilization, for disruption, but I am now. These Republicans cannot know a moment of peace.
I don't know about you guys, but that sounds a little insurrection-y to me.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
And what? And these people are really, they're going to go out and protest to help out some billionaire like him?
Well, yes. Number one, because he's their billionaire. Right? Remember who we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's more like they're his serfs, but okay.
And don't forget that he has a trans, I'm going to air quote the sister thing.
Jim says, who can possibly beat Prickster?
He is just an awful person. He is awful in every way a human being could be. I mean, he and Soros could be twin brothers. Except he looks like he ate Soros.
Well, the cloning technology isn't perfect.
Well, and Soros looks like he shriveled because he used to be Pritzker's size. God, he's an awful man.
He does kind of look like a dried up raisin that you found under your kid's car seat in the back of the car.
Yep, man, he's asking him to burn stuff down.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said. He's real close. What he's calling on is for people to riot against the federal government of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like him or not, Trump is our duly elected president. And demonstrating and protesting is one thing, but, torching Tesla dealerships is a whole different thing.
It's a kinder, gentler fire when it's done by the left.
Right.
Well, maybe they can march on Congress and we can see how the judges react this time.
Well, this time
no, it's perfectly fine.
Right. It will be from their lips to God's ear because they're leftists. We know how that works.
Yes, we do. Well, that was an excellent choice. Who would have been the loser?
I cannot remember. Sorry. I did this very quickly this morning, and I was doing like 15 other things when I did it, which is why I sent the wrong sound bite to myself. So I can't remember who it was. Let me think. God, who was it? There are so many possible choices, and it's been so long since we've been here. I think I used an old one.
I'm gonna say this.
Oh, you know what it was? It was an old one. Let me see if I still have it here.
Was it Kamala?
It was not Kamala. It was.
She'll be missed.
No, she won't.
Let's see.
Nothing better than silence on here.
I know. Well, you could talk. I'm looking for stuff. You could talk while I'm looking.
I'm typing. So do you remember who it was?
I'm looking. I do remember what it was.
Well, if you find out, once you do the outro music and set up 2 minutes of guns in 1 minute, and you can look. Because Mark has an exposition.
Okay, so hang on. I'm doing all these things. I'm playing all of this off my my hard drive because I forgot to put several things back into OBS. So I got to find Mark's thing here. All right, Mark, you ready to go?
I absolutely
it doesn't
am not, but that's fine.
It doesn't matter. It's time to go anyway. All right, here we go.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
So I was reading the other day an article from Massad Ayub, who, if you know him, he's been a trainer. He started off with training police and everything.
15
he had
seconds.
a pretty good short article on retention. Yeah, well, I shouldn't say it was a great article because he just sort of raises some points but he doesn't go into a lot of detail. But he does recommend for weapon retention.
30 seconds.
One, you might want to try using a handgun with a safety, because he does have some instances he's verified where manual safety on a gun that got taken away from a cop saved the cop's life because the perp
45
didn't know how
seconds.
to operate it, didn't know how to activate the gun. The other thing is, if you're going to be carrying openly, you need to have a retention holster, something good, not something just a strap or whatever. And then he recommends safety.
Stop.
That was really good because you weren't ready at all for that, were you?
No.
Excellent. 10 out of 10, Mark.
Better go, Mark. In the
So
true
did you find-
spirit of 60 seconds, 2 minutes of guns in 60 seconds.
It's okay. We can move on.
I'm not sure if this is it or not. Let me see. We'll find out. We'll all find out what this clip is together.
Coming soon.
Oh no, this is the promo.
Okay. So we're good to go.
So we
Let's go
can
on.
listen to this in a few minutes if you want to. I'm pretty sure I had that.
Don't worry about it. Think real fast. Let's go.
That's another one I need to put in. Hang on just a second. Let me get there.
Think real fast.
Okay.
The UK
Again, 'cause
Supreme
I'm playing it all
Court.
off my hard drive. Sorry.
The UK Supreme Court ruled that being a woman is something that is actually a real thing. Mark, is this because that's what's good for the United Caliphate? I'm sorry, Kingdom.
Well, that may be weighing on them. The fact that pretty soon they're going to be controlled by a religion that doesn't agree with all these liberal things. So,
Yeah, in many cases, they don't actually hold people who follow the religion of peace to the same standards that they hold, actual people from England. Crazy that. The missus, do you think that J.K. Rowling slipped the judges a $5?
Yes. Like a $500 bill because she's a bazillionaire.
I'm going to skip that one because it's some old stuff on Carmelo Anthony. Mark, do you think that they should be looking for a public defender?
who?
Carmelo Anthony's family.
Oh, them? A public defender? No. I mean, they've got tons of money. They've raised even more. I mean, give me a break. He's got like half the country thinks he's a hero for stabbing somebody.
I love it that their spokesman had been indicted for, what was it, spousal abuse?
Yeah.
Yep. The missus, do you think...
Yeah, and he has the call to ask the father of the murdered kid to leave.
The actual victim, yeah.
Yeah.
And then that guy didn't proceed to stab anyone in the heart, which was weird, right?
It was. I myself was shocked. Shocked that somebody could be asked to leave someplace without stabbing someone else to death.
The missus, isn't all that money, that reparations jackpot they hit, isn't that the best incentive possible that one can give to an admitted killer?
It really is, because nothing will stop them from doing that, like giving them positive reinforcement.
That's right. Giving them...
That's the problem with prison, is that it's punishment.
I know. Oh, my. So, the governor of Pennsylvania's house was torched by a Marxist Palestinian activist married to a black woman. Mark, is there anything about this story that screams nothing to see here?
Pretty much everything.
You notice how, since I wrote this a few weeks ago, that's already disappeared. Just completely disappeared off the pages.
I hadn't even heard about that one. Yeah.
Yep, that was Shapiro's house, Governor Shapiro's house. He got torched, and oh wait, nothing to see here.
Oh right, yeah.
The missus, do you think the Marxist Palestinian activist will be a viable Democratic presidential candidate in 2028?
I think they're going to have to take all of these Palestinian activists who they're trying to kick out of the country, But for some reason, we can't have these people who are guests in our country and violating, breaking laws and shit and doing stuff we don't want them to be doing. We can't kick them out. Because apparently once you get here, you never have to leave for any reason.
Oh, maybe they can put them on like some sort of an exchange program with Israel.
There you go. Letitia James has learned that revenge is a Tish best served cold. She's been referred to the DOJ for mortgage fraud after previously putting Trump on trial for defrauding his lenders. Mark, is this what they call irony, or is it what they call projection?
Well, I think it's ironic, but technically, Trump didn't defraud the investors because they never actually suffered any harm. Whereas she really was getting stuff that she wasn't supposed to get. So, does that qualify as irony? Anyway, but it's karma.
It's
karma.
Kind
of an FAFO sort of scenario.
Yeah.
Well, that ties into your question, the missus. Is the smell of her fear delicious?
Won't be as good as her tears at her sentencing.
Yes. Put Don on the Rock. A bill has introduced to carve Donald Trump's image into Mount Rushmore. Mark, wouldn't it be better to use a laser and burn it into the surface of the moon so everyone could see it every night?
Oh, I totally agree. That's a perfect idea.
Put the moon back, demon waif.
The missus, if that actually happened, would that, if they actually carved Don on Mount Rushmore, would that form enough salt from liberal tears to coat every French fry in America?
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
That'd be disgusting. It'd be mixed with all these STDs and everything. Ugh.
There would be no fresh water left in the Americas.
Contaminate the whole place. Israel is on fire, literally. Firestorms are engulfing Israel.
Fuego!
Mark, doesn't this seem a little bit biblical?
I don't know what happens in California every year.
Well, the missus, is this a mystery? Dozens of fires breaking out all at once and not a one in a Palestinian area?
I don't know if mystery is the word I would use.
Well,
that's probably just coincident.
I'm sure it is. Although on the other hand, there may not be anything left to burn in the Palestinian areas.
Rubble doesn't burn very well. All right. Donald Trump is suggesting he might deport criminal illegal aliens to Canada. A direct quote from Trump. The Canadians seem to like them, so we might have to send them there. Mark, does POC stand for people of crime?
It should, maybe. Probably.
That's who I'm going to get his chance. Yeah. The missus, is it time for Trump to sanction Operation Maple Leaf Blower?
I think this is a great idea. I mean, it's what Mexico does. It's how they keep the Guatemalans out of their country. They say you have a week to get across here because that's how long it takes to walk from one border to the next and get into the U.S.
And look at how Venezuela took care of their crime. And remember, Cuba, every once in a while decides to empty their prisons, and then we have a sudden flotilla of boat people.
POC, people of crime. All right.
It's probably nothing to worry about.
Good. Oh, that's good. That sounds actually better than ever before. Apparently, the grid was close to collapse in all of Europe yesterday, but it only impacted Spain and Portugal. Mark, do you think this is because they invited all those Muslims back after kicking them out?
Oh, we all know it's because they went to renewables.
The missus, is this just another example of the glorious victory of wind and solar?
Yes, absolutely. He's glorious.
Yeah. Apparently they were getting ready to lose phase, and so the French cut them loose, and it set them, complete loss of power set Spain back at least an hour. All right. Katy Perry says that she's been battered and bruised by backlash from her trip to space. Literally, she uses the word battered and bruised by backlash from people making fun of her because she was on Fashion Mission 1. Mark, will you help her feel better and go purchase one of her posters?
No, if I want to vomit, I'll just get some syrup of Ipecac.
The missus, did she put the ass in astronaut?
Well, I mean, the spacesuits were kind of form-fitting, so probably.
And technically, that was actually a thing that she said before going up to space. We're putting the ass into astronaut.
Mm-hmm.
So, India and Pakistan are preparing to fight an actual war?
Nice job, dumbass!
I don't think so. They'll fly their jets over their own countries and shoot artillery shells where their enemy isn't. Then they'll both declare victory, and then they'll both declare peace. Mark, am I wrong? And we'll instead see the most incompetent war ever, as if Leslie Nielsen were choreographing a nuclear war?
I'm not sure really what would happen there. I suspect that it could really blow up if India goes ahead and shuts off all the water for an extended period of time. Because there was a river system I thought that was going through there that they were trying to shut down or threaten to shut down.
Can you imagine being downstream of Indian water?
I know. The only people on Earth that are immune to some stink bomb that the Israelis developed.
I know. The missus, do the Pakistanis and the Indians both need more nuclear weapons? To make sure. It's the only way to make sure.
Sure, why not?
All right.
Let's just go crazy.
The Pope died. Mark, would Trump make a good Pope?
I don't think he's Catholic. I
didn't say he was Catholic.
Well, there's that old expression, is the Pope Catholic? You want to make it a negative now? Is the Pope Catholic? No. Let's just go with Mel Gibson.
He stepped on me. The missus? How about Mel Gibson?
That'd be
do you
fantastic.
Think he would?
Yeah, sure. I think he'd be a great Pope.
Do you think there would be a very interesting papal visit to Jerusalem?
I mean, is there any serious requirement that the Pope has to be a priest? I mean...
No, there isn't. And besides, think how funny it would be to, a new Mad Max movie with the Pope Mobile.
So Jim Wetzel notes about the priest thing that became an actual question during the Francis regime, and then Codex notes he's God's problem now.
Yep.
All right, that ends. Think real fast.
Oh, does it? Oh, okay.
Think real fast.
Oh, stop that! Stop it! You're done.
All right.
I did find the other thing that was going to be the jackass.
Well,
let me lay that
carry
on
on.
you.
Go for it.
All right. It's kind of long. And it needs a little setup. This was this was back in February. This was from 60 Minutes, and they're in Germany interviewing, I'll just let them explain.
What's the typical reaction when the police show up at somebody's door and they say, hey, we believe you wrote this on the internet?
They say, in Germany we say, das wird man wohl doch mal sagen dürfen. So we are here with crimes of talking, posting on internet, and the people are surprised that this is really illegal to post these kind of words.
They don't think it was illegal?
No, they don't think it was illegal. And they say, no, that's my free speech. And we say, no, yeah, free speech as well, but it is also has its limits.
It's illegal to display Nazi symbolism, a swastika, or deny the Holocaust. That's clear. Is it a crime to insult somebody in public?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
And it's a crime to insult them online as well?
Yes.
The fine could be even higher if you insult someone in the internet.
Why?
Because in internet, it stays there.
The punishment for breaking hate speech laws can include jail time for repeat offenders. But in most cases, a judge levies a stiff fine and sometimes keeps their devices.
How do people react when you take their phones from them?
They are shocked. It's a kind of punishment if you lose your smartphone. It's even worse than the fine you have to pay.
Because your whole life
Yes.
is typically on your phone now. In the United States, a lot of people look at this and say this is restricting free speech. It's a threat to democracy.
Free speech needs boundaries. And in the case of Germany, these boundaries are part of our constitution. Without boundaries, a very small group of people can rely on endless freedom to say anything that they want, while everyone else is scared and intimidated.
And your fear is that if people are freely attacked online, that they'll withdraw from the discussion.
This is not only a fear, it's already taking place. Already half of the internet users in Germany are afraid to express their political opinion, and they rarely participate in public debates online anymore. Half of the internet users.
So there you have it.
I wonder why they would be afraid about expressing their opinion.
Hey, they're free to express their opinion as long as the government approves of it.
Right, as long as the government approves.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like Democrats during COVID. You can say anything you want as long as we agree with it.
All right. Well,
So that was our other jackass.
Okay. Do you have I Heard It on the X?
That one I do actually have, and I remembered that one.
Sounds so much better with a new computer.
I know.
So apparently, a confused Bernie Sanders started speaking to the supporters that were staged behind him for the cameras because there were no actual supporters in front of him. So he was giving a speech the wrong direction because, there was nobody in front of him. And of course, being the news, they didn't show. So any commentary on that one? Do we not hate the media enough?
That's probably
No, we
always the
don't. We don't.
commentary. Yeah.
They're fake. They are fake, but I guess free speech.
Well, I wonder if, or maybe he was serious and he didn't understand the instructions, and so maybe Medicare for All was just to cover his dementia. Oh, that was mean. So Eric Swalwell said, "When my 7-year-old asks me what I did today, I'll say I did not make it easier to deport American kids battling cancer." And his response to him was, "Did you ever tell your kid about Fang Fang? What did they say when they found out you were compromised with a CCC spy? Did they ask if you knew Kung Fu afterwards? Or were they wondering if you betrayed America and sold America out?" Any thoughts on Fang Fang, dear?
Well, again, he's a Democrat, so it doesn't matter that he was literally sleeping with a Chinese spy.
All right. Adam
And
Schiff.
Democrats hold national security in very high regard, so I'm sure he never let anything slip, except the condom.
This is a rumor, but apparently, according to the rumor, CIA Director Gina Haspel, Adam Schiff, USAID, and OCCRP allegedly plotted to overthrow Trump in 2019. A CIA analyst's hearsay memo tied to the USAID-funded group sparked Trump's impeachment. So the CIA tried to topple Trump in 2016, 2019, and finally succeeded in 2020. All bankrolled by your taxes. And apparently this is confirmed. This list is being confirmed by Chessie Waters. So.
Well, I mean, I'd like to say I'm surprised, but Not surprised.
All right.
Well, they try to topple everybody else's government. Why not ours?
Well, Adam
It's
Schiff
not
is going,
treason when they do it.
and it's not a constitutional right that's worth protecting when they want to take it away, because Adam Schiff apparently wants to ban semi-automatic rifles. He's introducing the Assault Weapons Ban Act of 2025. Good luck, little Adam.
I can't believe that POS is a U.S. senator.
Yeah. Now I'm going to, because this is an actual news show with some of the best news on, I'm going to take to task President Trump. On January of 2019, 2025, he said, this is Trump's economy as the stock market was surging. Today, he said, this is Biden's stock market, not Trump's. Now, to be fair to Trump, the first part, he was goofing. This is the Biden stock market. I think they've been juicing the market for so long, it had to fall, and I think it was now. Your thoughts?
No, I agree. We're going to see a lot of corrections because of the inflationary pressures being removed, and with the tariffs. I mean, it's going to be hard to disengage from China, and it's going to be hard forcing these other countries because we've exported so much of our manufacturing capacity overseas that on a lot of items that yeah, of course it's going to hurt, but it's necessary,
And I'm going to note something that someone commented on my blog today. They said people don't realize that the tariffs really are national defense, because if we can't manufacture a single weapon system without components coming from other countries, it's over.
And specifically from China?
Specifically from China. Which, hey, we need more of those drone parts, China. Can you send us to them so that we can attack you?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, that's all I had for. I heard it on the axe.
Well, it's good. It is getting kind of late, and before we get out of here, we do want to do some internet funnies.
Oh, yes, please. Take the reins and drive a hoe.
Alrighty.
Did I say that? That was just drive a hoe.
Well, someone actually said to me, such and such is not the brightest bulb in the tool shed. Okay, then. You may not be either. So, all right. So here's our first one. This is what I like to call the not likely list.
Yeah, I like it.
Mm-hmm. And since we were talking about exporting criminals and immigrants earlier, here's a little quote from Nietzsche. There is a point in the history of society when it becomes so pathologically soft and tender that among those things it sides, even with those who harm it, criminals, and does this quite seriously and honestly. Punishing somehow seems unfair to it, and it's certain that imagining punishment and being supposed to punish hurts it, arouses fear in it. Why is it not enough to render him undangerous? Why still punish? Punishing itself is terrible, and with this question, herd morality, the morality of timidity, draws its ultimate consequence.
And even Nietzsche proving that even a stopped clock is right twice a day.
Oh, exactly. There you go. Now, you've also heard, I would imagine, about the Department of Transportation needing some executive order, I think, is what's going on, to provide literacy tests to truck drivers to make sure that they understand English. Well, someone posted about that, only they misspelled. We used the wrong word. They did not use the word literacy. They used instead the word literary. And who's the author of Jane Eyre? Emily Bronte? Sir, turn off the engine and step out of the truck. And we have our daily dose of Kamala. My greatest achievement as Vice President of the U.S., to certify Donald J. Trump as the 47th president.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to give Kamala that and clapped. And finally, what?
Nope. Go.
All right,
Carry on.
all right.
That's an oldie.
Yep. So that's what I got.
That's what you got. Excellent. Well done. All right, Mark. Any closing thoughts?
Nope. Sorry.
The missus, do you have any closing thoughts?
No, I think that's it.
Well, on that note, I'd like to thank everyone for coming to Bombs and Bants and Wednesday Rants. I am your dedicated and humble host, John Wilder, thanking you for coming on here tonight.
And this is Mark, and it's great being back. It's
You
awesome.
know, you can't give a different out cue every time and expect the rest of us to know that's the out cue. It has to be consistent.
If I throw enough knives at you, you'll develop tough enough skin that it won't hurt.
Apparently, we're so shell-shocked. You all come back now, you hear?
That's the dumbest thing.